Un, dos, tres. Probando. 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 And I do believe that we are live. Buenas noches, gente. This is, as always, Isidro Montalvo Espinosa, broadcast coordinator for Liga Nacional Puertorriqueña en vivo. With me, as always, is my co-host, the redoubtable Luisa. How are you doing?
Good evening. I'm doing pretty well. I'm excited about this game.
It is good to be back. We were off last week. It was Valentine's Day, of course, and figured people would rather spend that time with their loved ones. Uh, and even if
Baseball
you're,
teams can be loved ones, let's just say.
well, yes, and these are our beloved Navegadores de Naguabo. That is true.
Mhm.
So we were sad to be away, but we're back. And hopefully, better than ever because the Navegadores are going to need to bring their A game. This is the second round of the postseason, the Serie Eliminatoria, and it is an aptly titled series. This is where the rubber really meets the road in terms of what are we going to see here? Are we going to get upsets? Are we going to get teams that are evenly matched and have to sort of fight it out? Go the distance, the full 5 games to decide who's getting on to the next round. This is the first one where I think we might see some interesting things happen. In the last round, if you were hoping for chaos, like I usually do for my playoffs, it really didn't happen.
Mm.
We didn't see a whole lot of that. It was mostly right down the middle, exactly whom you expected to win, usually won. There were 3 very funny upsets, and we can discuss those if people would like. But for the most part, things proceeded as predicted. And now the Navegadores are hosting the team from the capital, the Metropolitanos de San Juan. Now, let me ask you this.
Huh?
I know that you are not extremely familiar, let's say it that way, with the history of the various uh, LNP teams, Liga Nacional Puertorriqueña teams, and so on.
That's true.
If all I told you was that this team is from the capital, from
Hmm.
San Juan, what would you expect out of this team? What reputation might you expect it to have? How good would you expect it to be? That kind of thing.
I would expect them to be the equivalent of the New York Yankees. And I
Right.
think everything that goes with that, the money to buy really great players, complaining a lot if they don't win when they feel like they're owed it, things like that.
You would think that, wouldn't you? That is the
Yeah.
most obvious comparison. You would definitely expect to see a team from San Juan be very dominant, be perhaps very loud, have a lot of fans that are you're dear to me. Some of you are dear to me, but let's face it, you're very annoying.
Uh-huh.
And that there would be a real kind of count the rings mentality. Of course, they are medals in the Liga Nacional Puertorriqueña, but
Hmm.
you would think that that would be the dominant environment, and really, that is not what has happened. The Metropolitanos are a good team. Let's not beat around the bush here. They are not by any means bad, but there is an argument as to whether they're even the most dominant team in their own division. And this year, they almost did not make it here. It is fairly ridiculous to say this, but for most of the 1905 season, the team leading the division was the Guardacostas de Cataño, who have literally never made the playoffs.
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah, it sure is. The Metropolitanos de San Juan have never made it past the Interdivisionales, which they have also not made it past since 1890. They have not even made it that far, I should say, since 1896. They have not gotten out of the second round, which they are currently in, since 1902. And in the 5 seasons of the 20th century that we have seen so far, they have only won their division 3 times. So,
Mm.
not at all the absolutely dominant team that you would expect, really.
Hmm.
Whereas the Navegadores, well, we've been following them and we know that, while they are supposed to be a very dominant team, they have a tendency to kind of get pantsed on camera.
I always think of them as the tortoise and the hare. They will do great um, to get ahead, and then they'll kind of just slack off, and then maybe they'll let the other team pass them and win the game in the end, which is very frustrating.
They're kind of like if the tortoise and the hare occupied the same space, a Schrodinger's racing animal, if you will.
Hmm. Yeah, very true.
I'm not even going to ask you how you feel about this matchup because I already know that you are extremely nervous just from
Yeah,
watching them have the advantage at every position.
yeah, that's never a great sign for the
No.
Naves.
This despite the fact that demonstrably they are facing a not great pitcher, not horrible, I would say. Constantino Vasquez is probably fine as far as it goes, but definitely not the kind of pitcher that you expect to be the number one in a playoff rotation. And I would even say there are a few guys in this lineup that seem to me like automatic outs. But
Yeah.
one of them is Pedro Sanchez, formerly of the Ingenieros de Rincon, who just won the MVP for the previous series. So
Ah.
there's just no winning with this bunch here. No there's no easing up. They're going to have to bring their A game and just try to pull this out in as few games as possible because from here the road only gets tougher to hoe.
Mhm.
So it's probably time that we went down to the field and got things started. We are of course at La Timonera with
Yeah.
say it, say it,
That beautiful grotto, which I love so much.
and which we will soon see in the pan around the field. 4,903 in attendance, which means they must have added a few temporary bleachers because this park sits 3,000.
Oh, geez.
Partly cloudy, so there may be rain in the future. There may even be 2 rain delays. That has already happened. Temperature is 27 degrees. Wind is blowing out to center, so Ham Underwood and I don't remember his. Well, Jose Cortez, he's currently at bat. Better keep their heads on swivels out there in center field, or they're going to be in serious trouble.
Hmm.
There are going to be other games happening. We'll check in on them when possible, but just briefly, we'll cover that we have a bird bowl going. How dare you? We have a bird bowl going between the Cotorras and the Cuervos. Real, that's a goth bird versus a, I don't know, what would you call the Cotorras in this scenario?
Vaporwave bird, perhaps?
I was going to say theater kid, but that works too.
All right.
Vaporwave versus Goth Bird Bowl over there. Both two very good pitchers. That should be a hell of a game. We've got the Pescadores versus the Murciélagos, which will be interesting. I think the Pescadores are quite overmatched in this one, but we'll see. The
Okay.
Chupacabras facing the Combatientes. This is definitely the matchup of teams that are surprised to be here.
Mm,
I think the
okay.
Chupacabras have the advantage in that one, but we'll find out. The Marineros are taking on the Jinetes, and this game could go any which way. I think the Jinetes are going to win that series, but it might not take them. It might take them all 5 games to do it. The Corsarios, having just knocked out their own division winner in the previous round for the second year in a row, pardon me, which is extremely funny, are facing the Taínos, who again probably shouldn't be here, given that they just upset the Milagrosos and they are missing their best player, former Navegador Jacques Centur.
Ooh.
Then the Golondrinas and the Tumbabrazos are taking on each other, and this is the one that I'm hoping goes 5 games and it's just chaotic the entire time.
Mhm.
By the way, I should note, I forgot to mention, the Jinetes already do have 1 game on the Marineros, the Piratas have a game on the Taínos, the Golondrinas have a game on the Tumbabrazos. Those series have started a day earlier for whatever reason. Liga Hostos usually starts before Betances.
That's weird. Okay.
And then we've got the Hechiceros versus the Señores. And as much as I want the Hechiceros to win this one, they are not going to. Ponce already has one, but I mean, if Grant Johnson gets that bat back in working order, They could do it, and it would be amazing to watch the Hechiceros make it that far.
Mm-hmm.
All right, before we read out the lineups and talk about first pitches, we should have a word from, well, we have many sponsors, gente. There are many people who come together to make this broadcast possible, but there is one sponsor that stands head and shoulders, or if you prefer, crown and branches, above all others. And that sponsor is, Louisa?
That is Dr. Gonzalez and his wood tar liquor. Folks, 50,000 patients have been cured over 10 years with it. Chronic colds, rogue coughs, abundant chest discharges, asthma, bronchitis, and other respiratory ailments, all cured. It helps with consumption and with bladder catarrh, that's inflammation. It purifies overhumored blood, and it whets the appetite for fattening. Important. Not to be confused with other Dr. Gonzalez wood tar liquors, except no substitutes. And of course, it's sold in all good pharmacies, especially San Juan's own Farmacia Giametti, at the corner of Calle de San Francisco and Calle de la Cruz.
That's in San Juan, where the Metropolitanos are from, in their blue, red, and white uniforms. A little bit like if Evel Knievel and Captain America had a love child that played baseball.
I could see their love child playing baseball.
For sure. We will get to see them in more detail shortly. It's time we got this game started. First, we have the starting lineup for the Metropolitanos de San Juan visiting today. Batting leadoff and playing center field, number 10, Jose Cortez, who, despite that surname, which of course means courteous, is definitely making the that ass face.
Yes, he is.
Batting second and playing first base, number 17, Fulco Escobedo, who is 44 and still hitting multiple dingers a season.
What? That's great.
This guy rules. I believe this is his third team. I want to say he used to be a Canario, and then he was an Ingeniero before becoming a Metropolitano. I might be slightly off on which teams exactly he was on. Behind him, one of the youngest players, possibly the youngest in either lineup, batting third and playing shortstop, number 60, Crescencio Gutierrez, only 20 years old and a likely candidate for Nobilissimo at the end of the year. Batting fourth and playing right field, number 18, Zacarias Esparza, currently nursing a strained hamstring. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, number 4, Juda Guzman, who comes into this game on a hot streak, batting .438 in the playoffs.
What does this hat say?
They all say SJ for San Juan.
Oh, okay.
Batting sixth, the catcher, number 26, Macario Rangel. Batting seventh and playing left field, number 28, Pedro Sanchez, also known as El Alquimista.
Ooh, he's on the wrong team.
Definitely. And more importantly, I think it refers to the fact that he is not good at baseball, and yet he continues to find a way to stick on every roster. He is currently batting .400 in the playoffs, so there is that.
Ooh.
Batting eighth and playing second base, number 8, Eden Morales. And batting ninth and playing third base, number 25, Eneas Salazar. And now, the starting lineup for your Navegadores de Naguabo. Batting leadoff and playing first base, number 16, from Louisville, Kentucky, Rob Feaster.
The Grackle.
Batting second and playing second base, number 4, from Hampton, New Hampshire, Etaoin Shirtlew.
The Font of Wisdom.
Batting third and playing right field from Veracruz, number 56, Frank del Castillo.
Diablo Rojo.
Batting fourth and playing left field, number 37, from Aguas Buenas, right here in Puerto Rico, Vidal Santiago.
The Barber.
Batting fifth and playing third base, number 12, from Hay in New South Wales, Australia, Wally Bach.
The Human Ripcord.
Batting sixth and playing shortstop, number 6, Benigno Valdez of Calle.
Benji.
Batting seventh, number 18, the designated hitter from... Oh boy, I should know this off the top of my head, and yet I don't.
Scotland.
From Musselburgh in Scotland, Declan Milne.
Woo, doesn't have a nickname. We make a lot of Winnie the Pooh jokes about him.
Wielder of the 100-acre wood, as you've mentioned.
Yes, it's a good name.
Batting eighth and playing center field, number 27, from Newcastle upon Tyne, Graham Underwood.
Graham!
Batting ninth and catching, number 0, from Bahia Blanca in Argentina, Spike Stonehand.
A man who needs no nickname.
And pitching for the Navegadores de Naguabo tonight, from Conroe Switch, Texas, which now you know as the Woodlands, Ted Balloon.
Looney Balloony.
Also known as number 2, which is what we're hoping he's not going to pitch like tonight. Fastball, curveball, forkball, and changeup. If you have never seen a Looney Balloony start, his other nickname is the Wild Man of Naguabo. So strap in, folks, because this is going to be interesting. Let's get this game on the road. It's time for baseball. Here in Puerto Rico, La Isla del Encanto, where the best coffee is made.
Ooh.
Ted Balloon has held opponents under the Mendoza line for the season, 198. Jose Cortez, during the season, had a 260 average, 2 dingers, and 86 runs batted in, as Ted, for once in his life, begins with a first pitch strike because the umpire is being nice to him.
We'll see how long that lasts.
Exactly. You do have to wonder how much of Ted's issues with command is that he must hit his fair share of umpires.
Yeah, that's true. We just never hear about it.
Kristen's dropping into the chat to watch Ted pitch. Fastball goes by for strike 2. Let's see if Ted can wrap this up on the next pitch. And Cortez grounds that one to Benji. He's got it easy. Pickup to his right. Throws across to first, and they've got him.
Well,
That's out number 1. A changeup there that successfully jammed Cortez, and here comes a much tougher hitter to face, Fulco Escobedo. During the playoffs, hitting just .250, but he's drawn his share of walks. That on-base percentage is over .450. With 1 out and the base is empty, this ought to be interesting. He's a real Puerto Rican Dennis Quaid-looking guy there.
Is he?
I don't know if that's the best analogy. I'm trying to think who it would be. He takes a fastball high. I do have to say, that is among the most grizzled players I've ever seen in the Liga Nacional Puertorriqueña.
I'd say he kind of splits the uprights between Dennis and Randy, and I don't know if that's a great place to be.
And Ted back on form here as he misses low with a changeup. Barely under the zone there. He easily could have gotten that call. 2-0. With a hitter ahead of him, Ted's got to be careful here. He's not going to get that call either, is he? Yep, it's a hitter's count to Fulco Escobedo, who is a dangerous bat. You do usually want to pitch around him, but if you're Ted Balloon, you shouldn't be pitching around anybody at this point.
No.
Let's see if Ted will go for that gentleman's strike. He does. He gets it down the middle, and now this at-bat is about to get interesting. Fastball, changeup, forkball, then back to the heater for the strike. What is Ted going to deploy here to try and get him out? Ahead in the count, Escobedo is batting .356. He gets a swinging strike. Takes a big cut at that fastball. That cut under him in the zone. And that brings us to a full count. So you know what that means. Here come the 6 words everyone loves to hear during a baseball game.
Here we go.
This will be a payoff pitch.
Woo.
Full count from Ted Balloon. Escobedo pops it foul, and the at-bat will continue. Stonehand couldn't quite get the arm over the stands, and honestly, well, these are Naguabo fans, but if they had been in San Juan, they probably would have torn it off.
Yeah.
Payoff pitch number 2 coming in. Interestingly, the Metros have the second as Escobedo grounds that one too short. Benji Valdez to his left this time. Throws over, and that's out number 2.
Nice.
The Metropolitanos actually have the second largest stadium in the Liga Nacional Puertorriqueña. You would think it'd be the largest, but right now, Mayagüez actually beats them.
Aha, I was like, who would be larger? Okay.
They have this thing where they insist that they're the Rio capital because they were the capital of the insular government during the revolution.
You hear that sometimes around here for Philadelphia being the real capital.
Mm-hmm. Mayagüez, I wouldn't say that Mayagüez has a Phillies-like reputation in the Liga Nacional Puertorriqueña, but it's I don't actually remember which team I think is the most Phillies-like right now.
Yes, I know you like to map out these teams versus the MLB.
Mayagüez, I would say, is, if anything, I want to say they have more of the Yankees' position in that they are a pretty successful team. In some ways, I would say more successful than the Metros. But they have incredibly annoying fans who all think they are veterans. Because they're called the Capitanes, right? And their rules are like based around the army, and supposedly the team maintains like this incredible discipline and everything. They're famous for that. There's a whole lot of discussion about the right way to be a Capitán de Mayagüez and everything. Their media market might actually be tougher than San Juan.
Oh, okay. Who would you say San Juan maps onto then from the MLB? I know there's several city teams that are like, they haven't won in decades.
They might honestly be the pre-2019 Nationals in that they are the team of the capital, and they have not really progressed as far as you would think, given that they are the Capital Line team.
Okay, that makes sense.
Of course, the Nationals did win a championship in 2019. The Metropolitanos can't even make it past the third round. So there's that.
Someday they'll get back there.
That's right. 2 outs and the bases are empty for Crescencio Gutierrez, who is currently OPSing .785 in the playoffs. No home runs, 2 runs batted in. As Kristen and Will in the chat comment on the sky and how beautiful it is, which is very true.
It is.
Fastball misses away. 1-0. As the Naguabo fans vibrate to Ted pitching so much that their shirts are changing color due to the Doppler effect. Curveball misses low.
You think they wouldn't want to distract Ted?
Maybe that's the reason he has so much issues. Benji picks that one up, walking to his left and throws across, and it's 3 groundouts for Ted Balloon to close out the top of the first inning.
Nice.
Clean inning in the first, all-important tone setter, and now it's Naguabo's crack at number 13, Constantino Vasquez. Number 13, and boy, does he look like that's his number. He is currently the proud owner of 14 2/3 terrible innings in the postseason, has won a game and lost a game, 11 strikeouts to just 2 walks, and an ERA of 6.14. Has a sinker, cutter, and a circle change, and a 3-pitch arsenal against this lineup is a dangerous proposition. He was just below average, so it is possible that San Juan is just saving its powder for when they get to face mere mortals after Ted. That might be the reason here. First, he will face Rob Feaster, who in the playoffs is currently 5 for 13 with 2 runs batted in, OPS at .928. Earlier, we made sure that we designed the stadium for the Metropolitanos, and then remembered that this game was going to be in Naguabo anyway.
Ah, jeez. What does it look like?
It's got a pretty slim right field wall, so it favors lefties a bit.
Okay.
Smaller than Naguabo in terms of the field to accommodate for more attendance, basically, and the wall in the back, the fence, is blue with a red trim.
Okay.
Also, it's got a building behind it. Kind of a flip side
Nice.
Orioles Park, for those of you who are familiar with a warehouse there.
It makes sense that a big city team would have less land to work with.
Rob Feaster, by the way, fourth in runs scored in Liga Betances with 116 and led Liga Betances in bases stolen with 129 as that first pitch from Vasquez misses. That's a bouncer on the infield, and Feaster is going to be out at first. A grounder to Escobedo on a cutter. Down and in. Must have jammed him up there. Next up, Eto'o Shirley, who's batting .308, OPS of .862, no home runs, 2 runs batted in. Let's see if he can get a longer at-bat out of Vasquez. I don't know if Vasquez got to pitch against the Navegadores. As Shirley immediately arcs that one, fly, and foul. Big cut on the circle change, but he can't get it down. 0-1. Shirley, very good number 2 hitter this year. As that sinker misses outside to even the count, 1-1. At home, hitting .292, which I believe was, yes, above average for him. Shirley takes a big cut at the cutter, and he misses as it breaks under the zone, 1-2. Vasquez here in line for his first K. Let's see if he can complete the strikeout. Shirley sends that one foul. He won't go easy. Another cutter, and it's down and in. He tries the same trick with Feaster, but Shirley's contact is weak enough. 6 pitches for Vasquez so far, and a 1-2 count on Shirley. Shirley sends that one right into the waiting glove of Eden Morales at second base. Not even a hard enough line drive to avoid him. So with 2 outs and the base is empty, here comes Frank del Castillo, who is OPSing .896 with 2 runs batted in. Let's see if he can extend the inning.
Come on, Frank.
During the season, he was 5th in runs batted in with 111, 1st in runs scored with 129, and I believe 5th in wins above replacement in Betances. One of the best players anywhere in the league. As that sinker misses low and in for a ball. At home, batting .310. Cutter misses inside. Frank gets ahead 2-0 now. See if he can work his way around Vasquez. Ooh. Vasquez sends him a sinker, and it does sink right under his bat. That's strike 1. Vasquez gets some of his own back there. And Del Castillo once again swings on what would have been ball 3. 2 sinkers in a row, and he looked completely fooled on both of them. Let's see what happens on this 2-2 pitch. He fouls it off, chops it behind the catcher, and will stay at 2-2. Vasquez now on 12 pitches here in the first. As the pitcher you're trying to use... Ooh! Got him looking! That sinker just absolutely makes it past Del Castillo, and we are through 1. No score. Zacarias Esparza getting ready to take his first cuts against Ted Balloon here. He got through a first inning on 13 pitches. Esparza currently in the playoffs, OPS of .611. 2 runs batted in. The Metropolitanos 8th in runs scored in Liga Betances as that strike lands in. 28th in runs allowed. So you can see how they made it here. Esparza fouls off that fastball down the third base line. So we'll be at 0-2 after that pitch. Let's see if Ted can finish him off here. The faster he can get through every batter, the deeper he goes into the game, and he misses. Curveball, down and away.
Oh boy, that's a real miss.
Yeah, Ted had quite a bit of trouble with lefties this year. More than usual, anyway. He got better as the year went on, but...
You think he'd get plenty of practice with his own team?
You
Work with him.
would, as he follows it up with a perfect top shelf curveball that catches just the bottom of the zone, and the umpire rings up Esparza. Strikeout number 1 for Ted Balloon, his 10th of the postseason. Juan Guzman comes up next, and like I mentioned, he is on a hot streak. He is 1125 OPS, 7 for 16 with 4 runs batted in over the course of the playoffs. Let's see if Ted can throw some cold water on that streak. Guzman during the year was just a 2.25 hitter. As he looks at the fastball and checks the swinging time, that's ball 1. Guzman fouls that one off, evens the count, 1-1. Another fastball. Boy, Ted and his fastballs. I have to say, he's not the only pitcher to have grown really dependent on a heater that's not that good.
Yeah.
That's kind of going around the league this year.
It's funny that his other pitches are better. It's kind of like when you learn a new skill and you're like, I'm going to keep practicing. This is the one I want to try when it's the one you're the worst at.
Yep. Pitchers, man, they are just interesting creatures, is what they are. That changeup is also fouled off for strike 2. Let's see if Ted can finish him off here. Got him! Struck him out with the forkball as it bites inside. And back-to-back strikeouts for Ted Balloon here in the second inning.
Nice.
His reward is facing Macario Rangel, who is currently OPSing .812 during the playoffs. Runs batted in. Ted on 21 pitches, bases empty with 2 outs. Rangel pops up that first pitch and denies him striking out the side. And Ted waves off Rob Feaster to take on his own fly ball. San Juan goes down swinging, and popping up. Now the Navegadores, after that fastball got popped up, first pitch for Rangel, he'll be kicking himself after that one. The Navegadores Heartsmen, Santiago, Bach, and Valdez at a minimum get to take on Constantino Vasquez, who got through that first inning with a strikeout in just 13 pitches. Vidal Santiago having a tough postseason so far, just an average of 250, OPS of 5.58, 3 runs batted in though, which currently ties for the club lead. Will says that's a Ted we like to see, and very, very true. That's exactly what we want to see from our man.
Yep.
Vidal Santiago during the year missed batting 300 just barely. One of the real captains in this team. Watches that sinker. Man, that sinker is doing wonders for Vasquez. 0-1 as it's a called strike. That one is elevated. It's a circle change, and it just catches the top of the zone. So 2 quick strikes on Vidal Santiago. Going to see here if Constantino Vasquez did, in fact, pitch against the Navegadores at any point this season, as he misses low and inside 1-2. That was another circle change there that maybe just got away from him a little bit. Santiago fouls that one off. They're at least making decent contact on those. And I can now say Constantino Vasquez pitched against Naguabo twice during the season. The first time on May 12th, he only lasted 7 innings and lost that game 9-4. Though granted, it was 6-something when he left, according to this. The second time was on August 22nd. He once again lasted 7 innings, and this time he allowed all 8 of his teams of the Naguabo runs, and the eventual result was an 8-2 win for the Navegadores.
Okay.
So they should be able to get to him eventually, as Vidal Santiago lines that circle change foul. Let's see if that means he's got the timing down here. Santiago, line drive center field. Is that going to land? It hits grass. Santiago will be on base with a leadoff knock. It'll be a single.
Nice.
And the barber parted it down the middle.
Very good.
Here comes Wally Bach, who's 5 for 12 in the postseason. OPS of 878 with just 1 run batted in. With a man on first and no outs. Let's see what Wally can do. He led the club in home runs during the season with 17, but was otherwise just a smidge above average offensively. Circle change missing low and inside there, 1-0. Constantino maybe gets a little bit rattled by having to deal with a man on base. Oof. Sinker way inside. That is grounded to Morales. Should be an easy double play ball, and that's exactly what it is. Well, Vasquez giveth and Vasquez taketh, as that's an easy flip. Quick 4-6-3, Morales to Gutierrez to Escobedo, and they get the twin killing. Vasquez thanking his infield after that one as he now faces Benji Valdez with 2 outs and no one on base. Speaking of tough postseasons, Benji just batting 200, but he's drawn his fair share of walks, OPS of 385, so that OPS of 585 might not stay there for very long. He's also stolen 5 bases in the postseason so far. So if he gets on base, look for him to make some real chaos going around the paths.
He looks confident.
He sure does. He may very well win Ilustrísimo a 3rd year in a row.
Ooh.
As he lines that one into center field, is that getting caught? Cortez can't get there. It lands in front of him. That's going to be down for extra bases. The only question is it going to be 2 or 3? And in fact, Valdez will stop at second. Didn't want to chance it there.
Ah, he could have made third, but it's okay.
Well, he might still make third, to be clear.
True.
He just hit a double on a sinker that was on his hands.
Incredible.
I don't know how you even hit that. And now let's see.
A step back, maybe?
I guess so. He must have taken a step out of the box to hit that for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, here comes Declan Milne. Let's hope he brought that 100-acre wood with him today. Or otherwise, those Eeyore impressions are coming back, Declan. In the postseason, he's only had cause for 1 game since Pablo Salmerón is the DH against lefties, and he's 1 for 5. OPS of 600, though, so I believe he hit a double in that at-bat. Let's see what he's got against Vasquez here, as Valdez will almost certainly try for third. Not yet, though, as that's a checked swing on the sinker. He didn't go. Let's see, Macario Rangel's arm pretty decent, but Constantino Vasquez cannot hold runners. So this is a very interesting one where the question is, are you going to steal on the pitcher or on the catcher?
Yeah, because he's in a great spot to
As he still doesn't go. Circle change inside. 2-0.
Weird.
Milne sends that one down the third baseline, but foul. 2-1. Circle change again. That one just didn't break us far enough away to get his eye involved. Let's see what happens next. 2-1 count. Runner on second and 2 outs. As that sinker misses low, it's 3-1. And now, with Milne ahead of him, Vasquez is going to have to come in here and try to get that out honestly. And he will, as he grounds that one out to Salazar at third. He'll make the throw across the hallway, and unfortunately, Milne will be caught out at the cold corner. So 2 base hits, but all those base runners get stranded. The Navegadores get nothing. We are through 2 innings. Still no score. Do you remember, have we talked about the guy who insisted that you can't say there's no score once the game has begun?
Yes, we have. That really sticks in your craw, I know.
It's very weird. Of all the pedantic things to get stuck on, very strange.
I feel like people sometimes forget that the point of language is to be understood, and sometimes you don't do what's correct because it's easier to be understood if you don't.
That's right. Well, and I guess my question is a score of 0-0, quote-unquote, a score? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the absence of a number unto
Exactly.
itself.
It's like asking whether black is a color. You're going to get a different answer depending on the profession of the person you ask.
Yeah, true.
We head into the top of the third. Ted Balloon, 2 innings, 2 strikeouts, 22 pitches. He loves the number 2 today, and it is his number, so I guess he must.
Mm-hmm.
He now faces El Alquimista, Pedro Sanchez, the left fielder, currently OPSing 1179, courtesy of a home run and 3 runs batted in. He was the complete package in their opening series against the Cítricos de las Marías, whom they beat in 5 games. So they're on 2 days fewer rest than the Navegadores. Let's see if Ted can contain him as well, the same way he contained Guzman, as that is fouled and Rob can't quite get to it. It'll be a forkball, fouled off for strike 1. Sanchez then swings directly through that fastball, 0-2. Ted here having some fun with that one. Let's see if he can finish Sanchez off here quickly, get to work on somebody else. Sanchez flies that one out, but it is foul. Good cut on that one. Ted should maybe be careful locating a pitch there again. Well, or ever. That was a fastball right down the middle. He's lucky that didn't leave the park.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try that again. That is a ground out to Wally Balk. He's got it, makes the throw, and he's out. For a second there, it really looked like Sanchez might be able to beat the throw, but Wally got him. Still one of the top third basemen in the league defensively, and here comes Eden Morales, the second baseman. He is OPS in 613 in the playoffs, 2 runs batted in. During the season, he hit just 211.
That's not very Amber of his energy.
No, it would have to be 100 points higher for his energy to be Amber, I would argue. Changeup in there for a strike, 0-1. You know when Ted is throwing you a first pitch changeup strike? That is disrespectful at this point.
Yeah, Ted has to go out of his way to pitch that accurately, so you know he's doing it on purpose.
And that breaks up the no-hitter. As it lands in mid-right field, it'll be up to Franklin Castillo to throw it back in. It's a base knock, a single. And the Naguabo faithful, as usual, already jeering at their pitcher.
Yep.
Here comes Eneas Salazar hitting 222 in the postseason. OPS of 583, 3 runs batted in. During the regular season, he hit 224. As Ted, well, we know what's going to happen now. Ted always takes issue with the first guy to break up his no-hitter, so expect a lot of pickoff throws there. Francie drops by the chat, says hi to Will. It's good to know people are meeting up here. As Jose Cortez attempts a bunt, but it's fouled off, 0-1. A curveball, way up and away. As that's a pitch-out attempt, but it then doesn't go. 1-1, 1-1. Ace is wild. Another bunt attempt and misses this time, 1-2. And I feel like now they're just playing with him.
Yeah.
They're just like, how far can we make you lean out over the plate? Trying to bunt.
I feel like once you try to bunt unsuccessfully, you have to give it up. They expect the bunt, and they can't expect it. That's no good.
Changeup misses high and away, 2-2. He fouls off that one. A fastball sent into the audience, 2-2. Balloon, another pickoff attempt. Morales back on that one. As that misses low, the fork ball. So that brings us to a full count. And you know what that means. 6 words everybody loves to hear during a baseball game. This will be a payoff pitch. That is swung on, belted into right field, but Franklin Castillo is there. Throws back to first base. I don't think they got him. Nope, he's safe.
No. Okay.
That looked for a second the way the camera angle worked. I'm like, is this one of those things where the runner isn't touching the base? What's about to happen here? That turns the lineup over, and here comes Jose Cortez, who is 0-for-1. 2 outs and a man on first. Ted with another pickoff. Morales running back on that one. Another pickoff attempt. This isn't quite as bad as when he got bad at Torlo Ureña and tried to pick him off like 10 times in one at bat.
That was very funny.
Yes, it was hilarious. That's why we love Ted. Fastball misses low, 1-0. Gets a good cut from Cortes on the forkball, 1-1. Another pickoff attempt to Morales on first. At this point, you wonder if they're daring him to run, as Cortes misses on the forkball, 1-2.
Yeah.
Gets that one, and it's foul. Just by a matter of a few feet, that curveball remains at strike 2, 1-2 here, with a runner on and 2 outs. Another pickoff attempt, just in case. Morales back in plenty of time. Cortes, pardon me, fouls that one behind the plate. Forkball. That's pitch number 5 in this at-bat. Balloon now at 40 pitches and hasn't yet completed the 3rd inning. That's also fouled off, and it goes into the camera, as Morales has to scamper back to first. Pitch number 7 coming up. That swung on, lifted into left field, arcing foul. Foul and more foul. Way past gentleman's point, so Santiago lets it go. A forkball that time. Pitch number 8 coming up of this at-bat. Ted now desperate to win this one, as that is swung on and fouled. Wally Balk, for whatever reason, just doesn't extend the glove and grab it. So it'll be pitch number 9 coming up now,
Man, that's too many pitches.
as Ted adds another pickoff throw on that one. Oh my God. Misses low and outside with the fastball, 2-2. I guess whatever breaks up the rhythm, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Pitch number 10. And he got him for strikeout number 3. The fastball finishes it off. San Juan gets the hit, and that's it to retire the side. But Ted Balloon had to use a lot of pitches to get it done. Let's see if the Navegadores can pick him up in this inning. That's a 10-pitch at-bat. Ted has thrown, I believe, 45 pitches. Yes. So that could be trouble down the line.
Yeah. Somebody needs to score a darn run already.
That would be great, yes. I will say, San Juan's bullpen is, well, I say this like our bullpen is a lot better this year, and it's not. But theirs isn't great. So if they have to go to the pen, then things might get real funny. Here comes Constantino Vasquez through 2 innings, 2 hits, 1 strikeout, and he faces Graham Underwood, who is currently hitting 4 for 11, an OPS of 962 in the playoffs, 3 runs batted in, and 4 stolen bases. Graham Underwood was probably going to be lustre of the last series until poor Quinlevin over there pitched a complete game shutout, which I don't think he had managed all season. Saved it for the playoffs.
Good
What a
old
guy.
Ham.
That's right. As the sinker misses inside, 1-0. I have a weird feeling this at bat. Oh, that's grounded to third.
Can they get it there in time?
Oh, they did. Side to side, easy play there, and Underwood's out. Hard hit ball, but right at him.
Ah.
Poor Ham. This year, he really worked hard on increasing his pitch recognition, not swinging at bad pitches as often. And last year, it seemed like sometimes the best contact he made or the best plays he managed to pull off were by swinging at pitches that he had no business hitting. But since he was swinging at everything, he'd hit those too. And then this year, he's really struggled because he's kind of caught in that middle ground between having a good batting eye and making good contact.
Yeah.
Here
It's
comes.
frustrating.
It sure is. Here comes Spike Stonehand, who's 2 for 11 this year. Don't let that fool you. Stonehand actually had an above-average offensive season, hitting 3 home runs, 65 runs batted in, an on-base percentage of triple threes, which for this guy is incredible. He was 2 for 15 against San Juan, and you can see why, as he completely misses that cutter, 0-1. That is rolled to Morales at second. He's got it, makes the throw overhand. And that is out number 2, Vasquez. Barely having to throw pitches here as the lineup turns over for Rob Feaster, who's 0 for 1. Let's see if there's any chance of extending the inning here. Of course, back in the first inning, leadoff, he grounded out to first, right to Escobedo. As that sinker misses, 1-0. Francie points out it's a defensive game, and it sure is. Sinker misses low, 2-0.
Definitely.
Which, in terms of scheduling, great. We're going to be out of here in no time, but it's rough.
I don't know. If nobody can score, we'll be having extra baseball.
That is true. We did have that one game, Game 5 of the 1903 Campeonato Nacional Puertorriqueño, which lasted 21 scoreless innings. Technically 21 and a half, because it ended in the 22nd. Hitters count for Rob Feaster. Yeah, absurd. Let's see if Vasquez can finish him off here. Get something on this gentleman's strike. He does. It's 3-1 now. Will Vasquez continue to pump the zone and try to get him out, or will he miss and give up his third walk of the postseason? Rob Feaster has not been as automatic a thief as you would imagine in the postseason this year.
Mm-hmm.
He is 2 for 4 on stealing attempts, so we'll see what happens now that he's on board. Here comes Shirtley, who's 0 for 1. As he misses, there goes the throw from Rangel, and is it in time? It is not. Apparently a second baseman took his foot off the bag there, and Feaster slides in safe. Man on second with 2 outs. It's that cutter clips under the zone, 1-0. Says Will, he had an early start today. He will not make it through 21 innings. You and us 3, buddy. As that circle change misses, 2-0. That's going to be a strike, I think. Yes, indeed. Cutter on the outside edge, 2-1. Let's see if Shirtley can strap on the hero cape. Nope! Pops it up. Oof. As that is caught by Salazar. There over third base on the can of corn. A walk, and he's stranded at second. We are through 3 innings. There are still no runs on the board. Before we continue with the game, we're going to have a word from another of our wonderful sponsors. Louisa, the booth is yours.
Thank you. Folks, I want to tell you about, let's see, who have we not heard from in a little while here? How about the Jimenez Car Company? They are headquartered in Aguadilla. And they would like to announce to friends and supporters that from the 12th of July, they have established service from Camuy to Aguadilla and vice versa. They have vehicles of sufficient power to cause no bother to passengers who will not have to climb Aguadilla's hills on foot. The vehicles are driven by expert chauffeurs hired expressly from the factory. And having finished their agreement with the American Railroad Company for the sale of tickets, passengers will obtain from our agents their car tickets when their trains arrive. Now that's service. Seats start at just 3 pesos apiece. I love the idea of this. We've talked about this before. My romantic idea of a beautiful polished wood and brass car of some kind. I'm not sure if at this time we're talking about a car that has its own motor or if it's pulled by horses, but man, to get off the train, there's a porter there. Lots of shiny buttons, a beautiful suit he's got on, his uniform. And he's ready to hand you the ticket. You get right into the car to go up those hills. You don't have to climb them. You get to sightsee along the way. Maybe sketch a little bit in your sketchbook. Ah, that's so charming. I wonder how close those two are. Is it feasible to go on a trip like this to see a baseball game? I wonder. And I like the idea that the vehicles are driven by chauffeurs hired from the factory. Which makes you wonder, did they have a hand in making these cars, or were they just trained by the people who did?
Camu-
Mysterious.
Camuy and Aguadilla are not very far away. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know at the speed that cars would have managed at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Might be a tough proposition, but I'm sure it could be done
Yeah.
easily. Even then, I would imagine it probably wasn't much longer than what maybe an hour. Might be
Okay.
longer
I
than
guess
that.
I guess the alternative would just be taking a train part way and then walking yourself up the hills.
Yeah, basically.
Mm.
And to be fair, they are tough hills. I want
Yeah,
to
it
be
sounds
very
pretty.
clear about that. They are not easy. We recently drove around the hills in Kamui, and that's steep, scary. It's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
We're just letting everybody know what the score is and that they should join.
Maybe they'll actually see a score. They still have time to join to see the first run.
It's gonna be. I here's my question.
Yes.
Let's do what we usually do around the third inning. What do you think is the final score of this game?
Ugh. I think the final score is going to be the Naves 2-0.
That was, I will note, they have precedent for this. That was the score of the last game we broadcast.
I don't even remember. No, I do remember. Yes, of course. Well, I think it's happening again. That's what I feel is going to happen.
Fair enough. That, I
How
mean,
about
I'd
you?
be perfectly fine with that. I am going to say. Ooh, this is a good one. And I know this is a question that I suggested and therefore I have to answer. I am going to say 5-2 Navegadores.
Ooh, okay. So you expect a big breakout inning at some point, perhaps.
Crescencio, I keep confusing them. Constantino Vasquez has given up 6 earned runs in both of his starts with the Naves. It would be
Oh, wow.
very strange if he's able to keep them completely off the board. I'm going to assume here that if things start going really wrong, they will pull him earlier. But
Okay.
it could be anything.
Mhm.
Anyway, here in the top of the fourth, here comes Fulco Escobedo, who is currently carrying a 240 average against Ted Balloon in 25 at bats. He's over 1 on the day. Balloon threw 3 innings on 45 pitches, allowing 1 hit and 3 strikeouts. Escobedo's not going to be one of them, I'll tell you that much. As that curveball misses low, 1-0. He's a real wily hitter, I think. So he sends that one foul on a huge arc into left field to just drop slightly over the line, and it's 1-1. A couple years ago, he seriously competed for the batting title, and he was 42.
Wow.
Changeup misses low and outside, 2-1. He might be my favorite over 40 player in this league right now because of the fear that he inspires that a pitcher like Ted Balloon is completely pitching around him.
I love that. He's got a reputation.
Yep, curveball, forkball, and fastball all missing low. Changeup, boy, 3-1 count for Fulco Escobedo. Ted, I think, is about to give up his first walk, and that is exactly what happens. This time, I think I agree with an Aguabo faithful. He should have challenged him.
Yeah.
Here comes Crescencio Gutierrez, who's 0 for 1 on the day. Let's see if they want to try for that double play ball here as he fouls off that fastball on 1. Misses low and inside with the changeup, 1-1. Don't tell me the Ted Balloon collapse inning is coming in early. That goes to Benji. He goes to second, and looks like they are not going to make the relay happen. It'll be a fielder's choice, so just a 1 out. As he can't get the ball out of his glove quickly enough. That'll put a man on first with 1 out for Zacarias Esparza, who is 0 for 1. Esparza came over from the Jinetes in February of 1904. Esparza sends that one and splits the gap in the outfield. This is going to be trouble. Frank de Castillo racing to get it down, and I think that's going to score a run unless they held him at third. It's going to be a double for Esparza. Gutierrez will hold at third. And now Ted has two runners in scoring position he's got to deal with. That's very rough. That changeup away should have gotten past Esparza, but it didn't. And now Ted's in trouble. He's got to bear down and deal with Juda Guzman and Macario Rangel. Guzman 0 for 1 on the day as he struck out last time.
Oh, boy.
Fastball in there for a strike, 0-1. A slower fastball, too. And then he misses with a changeup down and in. 1-1 now. Guzman does him a favor and fouls that one off. To make it 1-2, another changeup. This one left a little bit higher. Let's see if Ted can finish him off. Misses inside with another changeup. 2-2. Guzman squirts that one foul.
Don't like that.
2-2. Guzman lines that one into center field. That's going to be a sacrifice fly as Underwood has it out there, but it will score the run.
Oh, man.
So the Metropolitanos, the Metropolitanos strike first and take a 1-0 lead here on a double. Pardon me. Technically, the Escobedo walk, a single, a double, and a sac fly. 2 outs and a man on third as he deals with Macario Rangel, who is 0 for 1. Ted now at 60 pitches here in the fourth. Rangel takes what looked like a golf swing through that fastball. Strike 1. That one is fouled off. A slow little bouncer on another fastball. And you can hear the fans just really letting Ted have it at this point. That changeup is low, 1-2. And he got him! Rangel with that golf swing misses, and they'll limit the damage to just the 1 run, but that's a run the Navegadores don't have. As they go out in front here in the top of the fourth, it's up to the Naves, Del Castillo, Santiago, and Bach to get something going against Constantino Vasquez, who is at 40 pitches over 3 innings. He's allowed 2 hits. He's got a walk and a strikeout, and he will face Frank de Castillo, who struck out back in the first. Frank loves to inexplicably strike out against guys that he has no business just completely missing against.
Yeah.
That's his favorite thing in the world. That and not see. As he swings right through another sinker. 0-1. At least this one was in the zone. I don't know what it is about his specific swing that sinkers just go by him.
Yeah.
He watches that one by. He checks a swing finally. 1-1. That one is grounded out. Easy little pickup for Crescencio Gutierrez, who throws to first. And he's out by a couple of steps. That's rough. It's out number 1, and with the bases remaining empty, here comes Vidal Santiago, who's 1 for 1 on the day. Wally Balk on deck, as Santiago watches that sinker miss away, 1-0. Santiago responsible for 1 of the 2 hits the Navegadores have so far in this game, as that circle change is, well, that's a makeup call from the umpire for that first Ted pitch. 3 innings later... Circle change.
You really think they keep all this in mind when they make their calls, huh?
They usually do it faster than that. 2-1. Santiago taking a called strike. Santiago's bat has not left his shoulder during this entire at-bat so far. So here goes nothing. 2-2. Can Santiago do something here? Well, what he does is he watches a pitch miss the zone, the cutter, drops underneath, so it brings us to a full count. And that means that this is going to be a payoff pitch.
Woo.
Santiago fouls that one off, says you're not getting rid of me that easy. Payoff pitch number 2 coming right up. That one is also grounded out to Gutierrez. He's got it, makes the throw over to first, and it's out number 2. So 2 outs and the base is empty for Wally Balk, who is 0 for 1. Vasquez now at 50 pitches. Getting a little bit tired. Let's see if they can do anything. Wally Balk, of course, grounded into that double play back in the second. And he goes after that first pitch. It's right to Salazar, who has no trouble throwing him out across the hallway.
Man, not going so good.
Nope, Naguabo goes down easy on this one, and we are through 4 innings. The Metropolitanos lead 1-0. Pedro Sanchez leads off the top of the 5th against Ted Balloon, who is at 64 pitches over 4 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. Pedro Sanchez 0 for 1 on the day. As he lines that one foul, 0-1. You're just... Does it feel to you like we're about to watch him collapse any second now?
Yes, but I kind of feel that way all the time.
True. As he misses just barely with a fastball, 1-1. Misses low and inside with a fastball, 2-1. Ted doesn't have the pitches to spare here, but he's insisting on pitching around guys like Pedro Sanchez, and thereby getting all of these foul balls and extra pitches that he doesn't need on the line.
Mm-hmm.
That changeup is fouled off, 2-2. He's got unlucky here because Sanchez has tried to make contact. And that's why I'm not the one pitching, as he freezes Sanchez with a fastball for strikeout number 5. By the way, that was his first earned run of the postseason, which isn't that impressive considering it's only his second game, but still.
Mm-hmm.
Here comes Eden Morales, who's 1 for 1 despite, during the regular season, having a bases empty average of 190. 1 out, bases empty for him. Curveball called a strike, 0-1. Morales swings through that curveball, 0-2. Let's see if Ted can finish him off here. Get himself one easy out at least. No, he can't. Misses low with the fastball, and it's 1-2. I think Ted is legitimately allergic to the 3-pitch strikeout.
It seems that way.
Or the 4-pitch strikeout, for that matter. As that curveball misses low as well, 2-2. Can he finish him off? Morales lines that one foul. Ask me how I knew it was going foul.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll stay at 2-2, and this at-bat should have been over 2 pitches ago. But it's going to pitch number 6 now. And it's going to a full count.
Great.
Payoff pitch. Morales lines that one into left field. Santiago running it down in the corner. He's got it. At least it was an easy fly out. And Franchise Time Machine is joining us much earlier today with a party of 107. So get ready for a crowd, folks.
Oh, wow.
Bienvenidas, gente. Thank you for coming. As you join us, we are in the top of the 5th inning of the second round of the postseason. Between the Navegadores de Naguabo, you're currently watching their outfielder here in Sapphire and Gold, and the Metropolitanos in red, blue, and white. Hey, Franchise Time Machine. We are going to have an ad read at the end of the 6th, so we've got a couple innings to go, but hope you all stick around. It's been an exciting game so far, if you're a Metropolitanos fan.
I mean, exciting. I don't know if it's exciting for anyone yet.
Fair. Eneas Salazar is next up. He is 0 for 1 on the day. 2 outs and the base is empty. Let's see if Ted has an easier time with him. See, misses low with that changeup against a 211 hitter. Dear Lord. Oh no, they actually called that a strike. How nice of them. 1-1. Can he finish him off here? That is swung on, and that is also going to find outfield grass there. Underwood will be in to catch it and hold the runner to a single, and that will extend the inning with a 2-out knock. Jose Cortez, who is 0-2, comes up, and if Ted can get him out in one pitch, he will maintain his pace. Cortez, of course, struck out back in the third. Stonehand has to go get Ted Balloon's wild pitch, and Salazar moves into scoring position. All we're missing for a true Ted start is him hitting a guy.
Yeah.
1-0 count as he misses with a curveball, 2-0. That is lifted into left field. Vidal Santiago is chasing it down. He's got a good beat on it, and thankfully the inning is over. It looked like it was about to roll out of control for the longest time there, but the side is retired. The Metropolitanos get the hit and strand it. San Juan remains up 1-0, and now it's time to see what Naguabo can do in the bottom of the fifth. Valdez, Milne, and Underwood are next up. Constantino Vasquez threw 4 innings, 51 pitches, 2 hits, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Faces Benji Valdez, who is 1-for-1 on the day. One of only 2 hits the Navegadores have been able to get off of him. Benji, of course, doubled last time he came up, but did not steal third for reasons unknown. That sinker is inside 0-1. Benji currently holds the single postseason record for stolen bases. And Benji, I'm having to say these nice things about you because you've let 2 pitches go down the middle without attacking either of them.
Benji.
2-strike count. Let's see if he'll finish him off here. As that is fouled off, he keeps going. By the way, anybody who's watching now, if you've got questions about what's going on, we're happy to answer them. But in brief, what you are watching is a game set in 1905 in a Puerto Rico that has been independent since 1871 and which decided to make baseball part of its national identity. As a result, every town has a team. There are 78 towns in Puerto Rico, so there are 78 teams in the Liga Nacional Puertorriqueña. Playoffs are crazy. There are 32 teams.
It was so nice of them to arrange an even number so it would work for matchups.
It's 3 wildcards per league. We did that before MLB did. We did that first. They stole our idea. Rob Manfred, we know that. We're coming for you. It's a 2-strike count. Let's see if Benji can stay with it here. A leadoff knock from him would sure be helpful, as that sinker misses low, 1-2. Are there historic players in this league or all fictional? There are historic players. I'm glad you said that, as that going to line foul? It's arcing, and it's past Gentleman's Point. So it'll still be 1-2. I'm glad you said that, Franchise Time Machine. There are actually a small number of historical players in the LNP. There are historical players in other leagues, but in this one, we have both, let's see. There's Joe Tinker of Tinker to Evers to Chance, who is playing shortstop, or maybe third base now, I don't remember, for the Caciques de Orocovis, and the Hechiceros de Guayama grabbed Findlay, Ohio's own Grant Johnson, known as Home Run Johnson, who proceeded to hit 42 homers this year.
Living up to his name.
Here's the thing. He only played like 90 games.
Jeez.
And he was...
averaging 2 per game, roughly?
Well, 1 every other game. But yes, like, he would have... If he had played a full season, he would be walking away with Ilustrísimo. And he is the only reason Guayama made it to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's not the only reason, but he's the one that definitely put them over the top. Because up until then, Benji's native Calle was beating them. As the Benji, speaking of Calle, grounds out to second.
Yeah.
Morales throws him out at first, and at least it was a decently long at-bat. Here comes Declan Milne, who's 0-for-1. I should also mention that in this very pitching staff, we have A, Big Jack Catole, who actually did pitch in the 1900s, though I forget for which teams, and Jan Pykos, who in our history is known as Jack Quinn, who pitched into the 30s and maybe into the 40s in the minor leagues, and I believe holds the distinction of being the second oldest person to make an appearance in a Major League Baseball game.
Oh, wow.
Since we got him in 1902, who knows how long this career is going to be.
That's great. He's only 22 now. He doesn't know what's coming.
Exactly. Declan Milne is 0 for 1 on the day. I'm telling you, Declan, if you don't do something in this at bat, it's going to happen. 1 out, bases empty, as he grounded out last time. And he grounds out on the first pitch, just like I knew he would, to Salazar at third. Well, the EOR impressions are officially back. How do you ground out a cutter down the pipe like that?
Very carefully.
Ugh, baseball. 2 outs, bases empty for Ham Underwood. Let's see if we can at least extend the inning, since Vasquez is still not at 60 pitches. Underwood is 0 for 1 on the day.
Come on, Ham.
As he swings entirely around his body and sends that sinker foul 0-1. Biff. Swings on that one. Is that going to land? It will. That's going to split the gap in left center. Cortez calls for it and has to run it down. Let's see if Underwood can stretch that with his wheels. And he does. It's a triple for Ham Underwood. A 2-out triple. They have to throw home to stop him.
Wow.
That was almost an inside-the-park homer.
Ugh, so good.
And to be fair, they were probably fine with doing that because Spike Stonehand is next up, and I don't know if you've noticed, but he's not having a good time so far.
It's a shame. He used to be good sometimes.
Yes, I think he just kind of got tired, is really what happened there. So he's 0 for 1 on the day. Let's see if this is the moment for him to put on his cape. 2 outs, man on third. He hit .255 with runners in scoring position during the year, as that is foul. Ugh. Just barely. Why are you all cheering?
They love a foul ball. That's their favorite.
I guess one of them must have caught it. 0-1. Franchise Time Machine mentions Ham and Spike Stonehand. Great names. They sure are. 0-1. And that circle change misses. 1-1. Stonehand! Line drive into right field, but... right into the right fielder's glove. Esparza has it and strands the runner. The Navegadores get the hit, and that's it. We're through 5. The score remains 1-0 to San Juan.
Boy.
They have to break through this next inning. They just have to.
If we're going to be wrong and they're not going to win this game, I'll be very disappointed.
Same. Ted Balloon, 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, 82 pitches, faces Fulco Escobedo, who's 0 for 1 with a walk. For those of you who were not here when we introduced him, Fulco Escobedo is perhaps the most grizzled player in the Liga Nacional Puertorriqueña. He is 44. He currently has an on-base percentage during the postseason of .458. During the regular season, it was .355. In the past 2 years, he competed for the batting title until well into the season.
You know who he looks like? You know who he actually looks like? He looks like Charlie Sheen now.
Yeah. Yep.
He's just saying Charlie Sheen is a young man with baseball, but if you put him in a uniform now, he would look like this guy.
So what you're saying is I should change his name to Carlos Esteves. Who, by the way, Luisa doesn't know this because she doesn't have an encyclopedic knowledge of MLB players, but Carlos Esteves is a real guy. He does actually play in MLB right now.
Oh, nice.
Very funny.
Is he as old? Is he as old?
No. But he does have a big dumper. We know that because he specifically complained that he couldn't get his pants tailored anymore.
That's a interesting thing to brag about.
I don't think he was bragging about it, but it was, or at least he wasn't. He was sort of bringing it up as a side part of the issue.
Okay.
But yes, you're right. He was intending to make sure that you knew that he was proud of the junk in his trunk.
Well, good for him.
Right. Fastball misses low because Ted has continued to pitch around Escobedo. Oh, grounds and foul. In a second here, we're probably going to start warming people up in the bullpen, although he did just get that swing and miss. That was pretty beautiful. You know what? Ted usually performs better once we start getting people up in the bullpen. He gets mad about it. After all, Ted was explicitly created as a messy who loves drama, so... Changeup misses high and away, 2-2, presumably as Ted cranes his neck to see the numbers on the guys in the bullpen. How do you...
Ted.
87 pitches for Ted Balloon. He hasn't even cracked an out in this inning. And this will be a payoff pitch. Escobedo sends that one foul, so we'll keep going. Payoff pitch number 2 coming up. That one is also fouled off. We're just going to be here forever. Payoff pitch number 3 coming up. If he didn't throw so many... And Fulco Escobedo draws his second walk of the game. Both walks that Ted Balloon has issued have been to Fulco Escobedo. The last one led to a score. So everybody hold on to your butts. As here comes Crescencio Gutierrez, who is 0 for 2. Last time he hit into a fielder's choice. Balloon there, he jabs the curveball foul, 0-1. It is a bunt. Ted has it. Can he throw the lead runner out? He cannot. Escobedo will make it to second on a successful sacrifice hit from Crescencio Gutierrez. Man on second with 1 out for Zacarias Esparza, who is 1 for 2. Last time, of course, he set up that sacrifice fly by moving runners to second and third. Ted badly needs this out here. And he's not going to get it the way he's pitching, as he misses low with that curveball, 1-0. He's got to start getting in the zone again.
Are you warming somebody else up, or are you thinking
Already got 2 people up. Norman and Pino. 1-1 count. Esparza swings through a forkball, 1-2.
All right.
Let's see if this approach is going to work. Last time Esparza... Oh, he checked his swing in time on the changeup, 2-2. Good pitch, but he caught it just at the end there. And he misses low again for another full count. So this will be another payoff pitch. Great.
Here we go.
He walked him.
Oh, come on, Ted.
2 on, 1 out for Juan Guzman, who has a ribby already as he hit that sacrifice fly, and is still doing quite well thanks to that. He needs to get this twin killing. He needs to get a cheap out somehow. Forkball is in there, 0-1. That is swung on, lifted into right field, but it's going to arc foul to make it 0-2. Ted needs to summon up the blood here as he's hitting 100 pitches here in the 6th. There's no way in hell he's finishing this game. Changeup misses low and away, 1-2. Guzman lines that one into center field. Underwood coming in. He's got it. And they do not tag up the runner. Situation remains the same with 2 outs for Macario Rangel, who is 0 for 2. And he got... That was a hanging curveball. Again, Ted got lucky on that one. So let's see. 2-1 and 2 out. Can Rangel come through for the Metropolitanos here? That swing of his is just something else. He thinks he's Mike Trout. More like Mike Cario Trout. Rangel sends it foul, 0-1.
Couldn't get another fish in there instead?
Fastball misses wide, 1-1. Let's see. I'm trying to think. I don't even remember what trout is in Spanish, come to think of it.
Uh-oh.
Fastball misses outside, 2-1. Not really a fish we ate a lot.
Yeah, it's more of a cold weather fish, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep, flies that one out into right field, and Frank de Castillo's got it. He strands both runners. Ted works his way out of trouble and probably buys himself the 7th, despite walking 2 guys. Norman and Pino will sit back down for the inning as the Navegadores get set to take on Vasquez, who is at 63 pitches over 5 innings. 3 hits, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Rob Feaster is 0 for 1 on the day as he leads this off, plus a walk and a stolen base. Let's see if they can finally... Well, nothing's going to happen on that music. As the bongos go, a sinker rolls by him for strike 1.
I didn't hear that. Why didn't I hear that?
I think I may have lowered the music volume.
Ah.
Sinker misses low this time, 1-1. Or the playoff crowd might be louder? Not sure.
Yeah, I wonder.
Feaster fouls off that sinker, 1-2. Now he's got to work his way back into this at-bat, which I don't know if he's going to be able to. Oh! That almost nicks him with a circle change there. It hits the dirt instead. Feaster, I think, will argue that it did hit him, but the umpire isn't buying it, and he's 2-2 now. Feaster grounds that one out to Morales at second, and it'll be another ground out. Other than that Underwood hit, they have basically been unable to get anything past the infield today.
Yeah.
When you do that, when you hit grounder after grounder, and you're not drawing a ton of walks, you're just not going to score runs. That's not how the game works.
Yep.
Especially not with a defense that's this good. That's the other problem. They're hitting into the teeth of a really good infield. Sherdlu, who is 3 for 9 against Vasquez, comes up. He's 0 for 2 on the day. 1 out, base is empty. So far, they've allowed Vasquez to shave almost 2 entire runs off his postseason ERA here. As that sinker is in there for a strike, 0-1. And they're also not swinging at extremely hittable pitches. That's the other problem. Sinker away, Sherdlu swings right through it. That wasn't a hittable pitch, and he tried to go for it. 0-2. This is also the 3rd time through the lineup, so they should get to know him very well by now.
Mm-hmm.
Circle change misses low and away, 1-2. And he got him. That cutter slips by Sherdlu as it's away, and you can see the desperation now, as that's just Vasquez's 2nd strikeout. That brings up Frente Castillo, who's 0 for 2 on the day, and has so far really just had a day he'd rather forget. Can he come through here? He's been a postseason hero for the Navegadores before, as that circle change is in there, 0-1. Sinker misses low, evens the count, 1-1. The Castillo so far not swinging at all. Swings on that one and fouls it off, 1-2, so Gutierrez will need just one more strike to end the inning here. He'll still be at only 75 pitches to do it. That is swung on, and he gets past Salazar at third. It'll be a knock. Should be down for a double. As the left fielder there has to make a big throw. Sanchez gets it to the cutoff man, and it's a 2-base hit. Man on second with 2 outs to extend the inning. And here comes Vidal Santiago, who's 1 for 2 on the day. Let's see if he can bring that run home. If he can get anything into the outfield and it lands, then Castillo's got the wheels to score from there. This is, for the Naves, the biggest at-bat of the game so far.
Oh boy.
As he swings on that first pitch, turns on it, but it is foul. As the music from Doom plays?
It was very energetic.
Sure.
Motivational.
0-1. A sinker up and away. Santiago checks a swing on the second sinker, 1-1. Hey, look at that. Navegadores batter managed not to swing through a sinker away.
Amazing.
Tell me that's going foul. It is. Huge arc on that one. By the way, for those of you who are waiting for the ad reads, those are coming up as soon as we finish this inning, which, granted, Luisa and I are both hoping will never end. So a 1-2 count.
I'm afraid I know how it's going to end. That's more the issue.
Yeah. Man on second and 2 outs. Aren't we all? That is swung on, and Esparza, for the second inning in a row, catches it on the line. That's the inning. A hit. That's it. The score remains 1-0 in favor of San Juan. We are through 6 innings. Before we continue, we will have another one of our famous ad reads, and then we'll see if the Navegadores can pull this out in the last third of the game. Luisa, the booth is yours.
Thank you. Folks, I want to tell you about Dr. Ayer's pills. Now, these pills cure dyspepsia, constipation, migraine, upset stomach, kidney, and uterine pains. All your problems. They are purely vegetal, sugared, and laxative. No one should be without a little jar of them to be able to take a small dose when the first symptoms of indigestion hit, and thereby avoid an infinity of illnesses. They won the first prize at the World's Fair in Barcelona and Chicago. Prepared by Dr. J.C. Ayer and Company, Lowell, Massachusetts, United States. I like the idea of a little pill you take whenever you have indigestion. That seems fine, but knowing they're laxative, I'm not sure that's always how you want to cure your stomach problems, if you know what I mean. But, doesn't sound too harmful compared to some of the pills we talk about, some of the medicines. I like that it covers anything in your body, your digestive system, of course, but also uterine pains, also migraine, so basically everything going on inside your many body systems. Don't know if it would help with any kind of limb pain. It might just be the main head torso region. It covers all that. Sugared pills, though. I love that. We've talked about this before. The way you sugar pills is you make a sugar syrup. You put the pill centers, which are already prepared and, hard and dried. You put them into a big drum that you have rotating. And as it rotates, you pour in the syrup, and it coats all the pills so that's how each one gets an even coating. And then you usually add some either beeswax at the time or confectioner's glaze, which is made of crushed up beetles. And both of those will give it a beautiful shiny finish. Confectioner's glaze still used today. Beeswax, less so. It melts a little bit. But confectioner's glaze, beautiful shine, crushed up buds.
What are we, what pills today are still using this method?
Pills, I'm not so sure about. Confectioner's glaze definitely goes on things like M&Ms.
Oh, gotcha.
Which are candy coated in much the same way, a coating that is rotated around the centers so it can harden in an even layer.
Well, you learn something new every day. I was going to mention Lowell, Massachusetts, famously a town with a huge amount of labor history, famous for its textile mills. Some of the first women's strikes, I believe, were there, and its old minor league team, which I believe no longer exists, used to be called, because of this, the Spinners.
Interesting.
I believe their mascot was a spider. I could be wrong about this.
Oh, nice. I like that, too. I find there's certain places in the United States, little towns, that you don't know anything about them, but they seem to come up enough that somehow they stick in your memory. For me, Lowell, Massachusetts, absolutely. And Denton, Texas. I don't know anything about these places, but every so often a person will mention being from one of those, and you're like, yeah, I'm filing that away in my memory banks.
I know that Denton, Texas is the site of the University of North Texas.
Okay.
I believe...
I think one or more members of the band Bowling for Soup is from Denton, Texas.
As is... Well, he's not from Denton, but I believe he went to UNT. The guy who draws Popeye now, who used to draw the webcomics Something Positive. Still does, as far as I know. But Randy Milholland.
Nice.
He was a real inspiration back in the day because, well, funnily enough, it was in Massachusetts, although I don't think it was Lowell, but he worked this health insurance job that he really hated doing, and he was doing something positive, and his fans kept crawling up his butt about why he didn't release more often. He basically went, I have a job to do.
Yeah.
If you want me to do this full time, then you need to basically pay my salary so that I can do that. And that's exactly what happened. He put together a fundraiser, they paid his salary, and he was able to switch to doing the comic full time.
Oh, that's great.
Also, sorry, I wanted to mention, by the way, thank you, Skateboarding Santa. I don't know if you're still watching, but that was our 120th follower.
I saw that banner that went across, so that's a big milestone, huh?
It is. I also saw that, but the funniest part is that after it showed that, it kept showing me 119 followers for a while, so I was very confused. I was like, did somebody just like immediately take it back? What happened there? Anyway, back to the game, unfortunately. Top of the 7th inning. Ted Balloon, 106 pitches over 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. Faces Sanchez, Morales, and Salazar at the bottom third. Norman and Pino in the bullpen. Let's see if he can at least get an easy inning. Sanchez struck out last time. And that's a forkball. Should be in there for strike 1, 0-1. Ted's just got to really work on nailing these last couple innings down. The more he can save the bullpen, the better, because they might need them later in the series. Fouled off 0-2. I mean, at some point, they're going to have to throw out Quinlivan again. They're going to have to throw out... And he got him! I think Ted heard me talking about being allergic to a 3-pitch strikeout, because that's strikeout number 6. He now faces Eden Morales, who is 1 for 2 on the day. They're going to have to throw a Quinlivan at some point. They might have to throw Faraj. And if they have to do that, they're going to need bullpen guys to come in and take over.
Yeah.
Those are at the knees for a strike, 0-1. By the way, if for whatever reason you want to watch the 1904 season of the Navegadores, it is now available on YouTube. Our channel is exactly where you would expect it to be, youtube.com/LMPGACETA. We'll pull it up for you in just a second here. And we've got a playlist that is the entirety of the 1904 season. We are also, now that Twitch is putting a limit on its highlights and uploads and all that, we are going to be putting more stuff over there, obviously. So just keep a watch out for that. We will probably be putting the games that we don't actively stream. We'll be bringing those over there and making sure that they're available for everybody. For example, the rest of the series we are unlikely to put on stream because we do need to move on. We might even end up putting the Serie Interdivisional, the 3rd season. We might even put that one on there instead of on Twitch. So just watch out for that, I guess.
Okay.
And the patrons, supporters, club members, seguidores, friends, Romans, countrymen, perhaps you'll get some earlier access to those games. Anyways, it's an 0-1 count and 1 out. Well, we got to give you all something. As that forkball is cut on and missed. 0-2. For the record, our patrons, of which Louisa is one, and we've got a couple in the chat there, very helpful people, because we literally could not do this whole thing. The amount, the costs that it runs up, just keeping all the sites and everything ready to go is quite substantial. And it's a labor of love and everything, but they help us defray those costs and bring them down to a reasonable level. 1-2 count, 1 out. Oh, you know what we haven't talked about yet?
What's that?
We haven't mentioned the mascot bowl.
Oh, that's true.
And
it's going on
before
right now.
And it is going on right now. We should mention that Ted just struck out Eden Morales for strikeout number 7. Let's do this. Let's see if he can close out this inning quickly, and then we'll talk about the mascot bowl. So don't go anywhere, because we're going to talk about this mascot bowl, and you are going to really love this.
Yes.
2 outs and bases empty for Eneas Salazar, who is 1 for 2. And there it is.
Oh, man, come on.
First pitch. Fastball gets away from Ted. He hits Salazar, and now it's a Ted Balloon start. With a man on first and 2 outs, the prospect of a clean inning was just too scary for him.
Ted Balloon works like when you launch a ship and you have to christen it by smashing a bottle against the side. Well, you have to hit a batter, or it's not a true Ted Balloon launch.
Well said. Here comes Jose Cortez, who is 0 for 3. Let's see. We'll give him this batter, since at least he had the decency to hit that guy on the first pitch. Cortez fouls off that forkball. Swings through the fastball. And he got him! It almost feels like he hit Salazar just to prove that he could still get out of the inning.
I guess.
Strikeout number 8 as we hit the middle of the 7th. And before we continue with the bottom of the 7th, we'll take a break here to talk about the Mascot Bowl, and then we'll see how the other games that are going on around the league are doing. Luisa, do you want me to take the lead, or do you want to talk about this Mascot Bowl thing?
I would like you to take the lead. They all swirl around in my mind too much.
So the Mascot Bowl is exactly what it sounds like. Every year, we ask our patrons to nominate which team they would like to see get a mascot. Usually we have around 11 patrons. They vote on which 12 teams they want to see. 6 from each league. 6 from Betances, 6 from Ostos. We then take these nominations, determine how many nominations each team got, and work out a field of 6 for each league. Then Luisa does truly yo person's work in drawing all of these mascots Pokemon style. And I basically vectorize them, put trading cards together. She does the types and moves, or we share that depending on how overworked each of us is at any given moment. And then I come up with the names in Spanish, which we try to do, again, Pokemon style. We try to do kind of puns and so on. And then we release them, and people get to vote on them. The winners get made into T-shirts. So out of the 12 mascots that enter, the winner in Ostos and the winner in Betances will both be made into shirts. And then there will be an overall champion as well. This is the Mascot Bowl 4 poll that I am putting into the chat right now. Right now we've got the play-in tournament. This is where the wild card seeds, the 3 and 6 and the 4 and 5 of each league, get to play against each other to determine who gets into the main tournament. And I can tell you right now that we've got between 37 and 38 votes in every one of these. And I can't believe I'm saying this on air, but we track by browser. So feel free to stuff the ballot boxes. We love it. That only makes it more democratic.
Mm-hmm. And some of these matchups are so tricky. I sometimes think, should I vote again to vote for the other half? Which seems wrong, like I'm canceling out my own vote, but I want them both to win.
Exactly. I will confess that very often I do exactly that. I'll only allow myself to vote for the ones I like if I then put in a vote for all the ones that are not my favorites. But I mean, this field that we've got is incredible. Hey, C. Seiler. This field is so strong this year. We've got the Pescadores de Salinas, the fishermen. They've got an otter. The Luquillo Suns, which are in the same division as Naguabo. Just a bright-eyed sun, exactly what you would expect. The Coamo Thermals have a sauna cat. The Santa...
Sounds like you're saying Sonic Cat.
Well, he might be Sonic. Not currently, though. He's very comfortable.
That's true.
He's not being noisy. The Santa Isabel Steeds have which is Carlos Correa's hometown, for those of you who didn't know, have a gangly colt that looks pretty much like what if Carlos Correa were a horse. in terms of being kind of long and lanky. The Libertadores de Guaynabo have a woodpecker picking apart a Spanish conquistador helmet because they're the liberators. The safe and sounds of Morovis have a snake coiled around a baseball bat, rod of Asclepius style. And that's the Betances field. If you thought those were good, over in Ostos, the Poets have a living animate quill with the hair, mustache, beard, eyes, eyebrows, and general demeanor of Spanish poet Gustavo Adolfo Bécquer, one of my favorites, crossed over a scroll that bears words from the Puerto Rican national poetess Lola Rodriguez de Tio. Says he's either, did I miss the sponsorship announcement? Well, that was in the 6th inning. We're in the 7th right now. The illustrious ones have an owl that looks like Cicero. The arm hackers of Carolina have a literal machete that is on fire. The Bayamon milkmen have a balloon cow, as you memorably put it to me. The Acropolis dwellers of Manatee have a manatee. I hope this is not a shock to anybody. Wearing Greek hoplite armor. And the engineers of Rincon, which we cannot believe took this long to get a mascot, they have what we have determined is a lithium atom that is very happy because it's about to smash.
Yeah, all those pieces are working together wonderfully. They love it.
So yeah, go ahead and vote in that. We would love to see what you think and which ones you think are worth getting into the tournament, and we'll keep alerting you. I think by the time we come next week, we'll be just wrapping up the second round. We made them extra long to give as many people a chance to vote as possible this time around. All right, here goes nothing. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Constantino Vasquez will face Wally Bach, Benji Valdez, and Pablo Salmeron when we get there. Vasquez is 6 innings of 80-pitch ball, 4 hits, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, but no runs. Wally Bach is over 2 on the day. He had a pretty good series, and it would be a shame for him to go cold for the rest of the playoffs. As he fouls that one off the tip of the bat there. The sinker. Good location for him to hit, but he didn't quite get the bat on it. Second sinker misses inside, 1-1. Wally Bach up the middle! The human ripcord puts it into center field, and that's a leadoff single. Tying run aboard with Benji Valdez at the plate, who is 1 for 2. Wally doesn't quite have the wheels to take advantage of an extra base hit, but let's see what happens here with a man on first and no outs. Back in the 5th, of course, Valdez.
Oh, here we go. Get excited.
For strike 1. A sinker down and away. 0-1 count. Benji! That is hit hard, that is hit far, and that is at the warning track. Bouncing off the base of the wall, that's going to be down for extra bases. Is Wally going to be able to come home on that? It's an RBI triple! The Navegadores tie it!
Oh, man.
Benji Valdez with the game-tying 3-base hit. Wally Bach scores, and Siler, you are yet again our good luck charm. Now, Wubble makes it happen here in the 7th and has a chance at the go-ahead run, and suddenly I have to make a decision. Wait, no, we're going to listen. As the fisherman's friends have shown up. Now we have to make the decision whether to let Declan Milne hit for himself here.
Ooh.
Man on third, no outs. This is about the ideal situation to put him in the game. No, we're not doing that. Okay. Declan Milne, who is over 2, will not be allowed to hit for himself. Now batting for the Navegadores de Naguabo, number 17, Pablo Salmeron, who is 3 for 9 with 2 runs batted in the playoffs. Ergo, he knows what he's doing. And he also happens to be my special prospect. He comes up with a man on third and no outs. Salmeron got to lift something into the outfield as that sinker misses low, 1-0. And instead he grounds that out to second, and then Morales has it. Well, that was disappointing.
Yeah.
Still, the go-ahead run remains on third with just the one out. Let's see if Ham Underwood can do better. He already got an extra base hit in this game. He's one
Come
for
on, Ham.
two. We are also going to switch out Pino. Wait, actually. Yeah, we're going to sit down Pino and bring up Onbar. We're going to sit down Norman too, but we are planning on bringing him back up. Anyway, one out, man on third for Ham Underwood. He had that triple to left center. All the musical accompaniment in this one, they're really trying to distract the pitcher.
They really are. It's very strange.
Circle change misses low, 1-0. Fun fact, I got to see as Underwood grounds, it's a bouncer to the infield, and Underwood can't beat it out. So this is quickly turning into a real damp squib of an inning here.
Yeah, they had so much potential.
As Stonehand, who is hitting .308 against Vasquez, has so far gone 0 for 2 on the day. Now would be the time to make that average work for him. Let's see what they can do. The very first ejection in the Worcester Red Sox's park, Polar Park, in 2021, was of the Rochester Red Wings manager when they visited, because this was one of the first years with a... Actually, they didn't have the pitch clock yet. It was 2021. But what they did have was... No, they must have... What was it? It's a Red Sox affiliate, so they played Sweet Caroline during the seventh inning stretch. And during the game, you can only play music at a low volume. But they were playing it full blast. People were singing along and so on. And so the pitcher said, I'm not going to pitch until they reduce the volume. The umpire said, you have to pitch. I'm telling you to pitch. The pitcher said, I'm not doing that. And the umpire assigned him a ball, like gave the batter a ball for not pitching. Matt LaCroix, the manager of the Red Wings, came out to argue, got ejected, so he's the first ejection in Polar Park history.
Nice.
1-0 count for Spike Stonehand. And I watched it happen live. Well, on television, but still, as it was happening. Sinker misses low, 2-0. That's a strike. The sinker, 2-1. That is also grounded out to Escobedo. He should have no trouble bringing that back. And on the one hand, that should have gone better. On the other hand, they at least tied the game.
Okay. This feels like it might be more of a curse than a blessing.
Yeah, we'll see. We are going to have Norman and Onbar ready to go if Ted gets himself into trouble. He's through 7 innings of 117 pitches. 3 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, and 8 strikeouts. And he faces pinch hitter number 16, Douglas Davies, from Eastleigh in England. This is the first year he really had some trouble at the plate. He's usually been pretty good. So let's see if that luck holds for Ted here, as he immediately comes within inches of hitting him. Fastball missing low and in, 1-0. That is swung on and fouled. So it'll be strike 1 to even the count. Misses inside with the fastball, 2-1. Really just challenging him with that fastball, because he's getting swings like that. Strike 2. Maybe Ted can finish him off here. Pick up strikeout number 9. Bounces, hits that one. It's a grounder to Stonehand. He's got it, makes the throw, and Davis is out.
All right.
7 1/3. That's how long Ted Balloon lasted last time. Let's see how much longer he can work this. Crescencio Gutierrez is next up. He's over 2 on the day. He had a sacrifice bunt back in the 6th. Cuts right through that forkball. 0-1. Beautiful pitch from Ted Balloon there. Misses with the changeup inside. 1-1. Gets another big cut, this time on the fastball, 1-2. Can he get out of this one? That is hit to Sherdlu. He's got it, gathers it up, makes the throw, and that's out number 2.
Oh, man.
Zacarias Esparza is 1 for 2. He comes up. He's also got a walk on the day with 2 outs and the base is empty. Ted Balloon with an accent on the U. As that curveball misses down and away, 1-0. That is how they would have pronounced it. That's a very good point. Swung on and fouled. Very lucky for Ted there. 1-1. Gets a huge cut at the fastball, 1-2. And once again has a chance at his 9th strikeout of the day. Can he do it? No, but he gets something almost as good. Sherdlu gathers that one up, throws across, and Ted is through 8 innings of 1-run ball. No runs, hits, or errors. No one left on. And now it's time for the Navegadores lineup. The top of the lineup, Feaster, Sherdlu, De Castillo, to see if they can string together some more runs against Constantino Vasquez. He is through 7 innings, 93 pitches, 6 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. And Feaster is 0 for 2 with a walk on the day and a stolen base. Where are you on the vibe check? Where are we on the nerve scale here?
Not confident. Do I think they can get 1 more before the end of the 9th inning? I'm going to say yes. Okay. I guess I am confident enough to say that. It's going to be 2-1.
Let's hope they prove you right. Rob Feaster here, usually a guy
on the crazy train.
That's right. Rob Feaster is a guy who's usually very, very good at picking up pitchers after a while, once he's seen you several times. It's surprising that he doesn't yet have a base hit here.
Yeah.
Watches that cutter go by, 0-1. That sinker misses low, 1-1. Pops that one up. Is that going to land in the audience is the question. Looks like it sure does, and that's strike 2. So here, Vasquez, once again with that circle change away from the lefties, has been very successful. But Feaster is going to force him to throw more pitches, and that cutter falls down and away, 2-2. Feaster bangs that one into right center, and that's going to be a leadoff base hit off the top of the wall, bouncing all around it. They've got to run it down out there. Esparza finally doesn't get one on the line drive, and it's a leadoff triple. The fans go wild as Rob the Grackle Feaster puts across the 7th hit of the game for the Navegadores and puts the go-ahead run on third with no outs. Anything they can get into the outfield should give them the lead. Mm-hmm. And that's why the Grackle isn't his only nickname. You remember the other one?
Do I? Are we talking about the Nor'easter?
That's right, Feaster the Nor'easter. Which is very funny because he's not from the Northeast.
No.
He's from Kentucky, which is a state. I had a history professor in college he was from Milan, Indiana, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
And he grew up, it's spelled like Milan, but he grew up partly during the Depression, and he used to talk about remembering the migrant workers come in for the factories and the farms. And he said they came from Tennessee, which is a state, and Kentucky, which is a state.
Interesting choice.
Here comes Sherdlu, 0 for 3. As, let's see here, Vasquez misses inside with a sinker, 1-0. Right down the middle with another sinker, as it, actually no, apparently it fell away towards the edge of the zone, but still, 1-1. Sherdlu, up the middle, that'll score. It's an RBI base hit, exactly where they needed it, and Sherdlu puts them ahead 2-1.
Oh, thank God.
Feaster scores. There's a man on first, and that is the pitch Constantino Vasquez will wish he had back this entire game. Sinker right down the middle, and the font of wisdom. Absolutely key smashes it for an RBI knock.
Vasquez must have ice in his veins to not even flinch when that ball came right back at him so fast.
Honestly, look at that. It went right by him. He is named Constantine. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but... Actually, people don't know this. In this reality, the film Constantine still has Keanu Reeves in it, but it's about his life.
Is that the one where he had a bunch of guns? I know he has a bunch of guns in a lot of movies, but did he have a bunch of guns in that one?
Did he use a lot of guns? I don't think he did. That one was the one where he flips off the devil at one point. That was pretty funny.
Yeah,
In
he's
a
like a warrior
dumb way. Yeah.
Something.
He's a demonologist. He's an exorcist of a type. And he introduces himself to demons as, I'm Constantine, John Constantine, a-hole.
Great. Good
So
stuff.
bad. I mean, I found it very funny in theaters, but it's not a good movie. Frank De Castillo is in. He's 1 for 3 on the day. Let's see if he feels like bringing in some more Veracruzan magic. Shirt Lou is back on that one. Shirt Lou is back on that one. Oh, he's very annoyed. Shirt Lou doesn't even steal bases. Low with that cutter, 1-0. Low with that cutter, 2-0. Then Castillo swings and misses through a circle change that would have been ball 3, for sure.
Jeez.
So here we go again. Swings on that one, hits it off the tip of the bat, but that's going to arc foul. If it had stayed fair, that would have been real fun for all of us. So that lands in the seats. It's 2-2 now. Then Castillo knocks that one down the first baseline. Escobedo has it, goes to first base, and do they get Sherdloo out? Davis is there at first base, pardon me, but Sherdloo is safe. It's a fielder's choice. They've got a man on second with just a 1 out.
Ooh, okay.
Here comes Vidal Santiago, who's 1 for 3 on the day, on bar, joining Varela in the bullpen. Let's see if Santiago's got something in him.
If Shirley was ever going to steal, maybe now's the time.
Mm-hmm. Fouls away that sinker, 0-1. He's got the speed, but for some reason he just isn't very successful with it. 2 quick strikes as that cutter drops in the zone, and that's 0-2.
Maybe he's not decisive enough.
Yeah. Sinker misses away. Maybe not deceptive, I would say. That's usually the trouble with guys like that. If they've got the speed, but their tell is too obvious, it's a 2-2 count. There's always a bunch of those guys that are very fast, but for whatever reason cannot seem to steal bases. 2-2 count. Misses, low and in, and this will be a payoff pitch.
Woo!
Swung on and fouled. So as it turns out, it wasn't a payoff pitch. Even the play-by-play here agrees with me. Payoff pitch number 2 coming right up. Vasquez now at 112 pitches. Pops that one up, but that is also going foul. Boy, that's the one time. Oh, to land right there on the line. That is insulting. Payoff pitch number 3 coming right up. Fouls that one off as well. Okay, now this is fun. Payoff pitch number 4 coming right up. And he lost him. Vidal Santiago takes a walk to first. And that'll put 2 on with 1 out for Wally Balk, who's 1 for 3 on the day. Let's see if he can continue this torrid stretch he's had in the postseason. He singled just an inning ago. Sinker's in there for a strike. 0-1. Barely a strike. That sinker is absolutely a strike. It's 0-2. And Wally should maybe think about swinging at some of these pitches. Not that one, though. He held up very well on that cutter. Yeah, 1-2 now. And he got him one pitch later. Circle change inside. Well, yeah, very inside. And it's still 2 on and 2 out for Benji Valdez, who is 2 for 3. Let's see if he's got some more heroics in him now. He's batting .292 with runners in scoring position, as that sinker is in there for a called strike, 0-1. He fouls off that one, and it's 0-2, and yet again they are about to squander a perfect opportunity. He had that RBI triple in the 7th. Swings on that one, and it is fouled. I don't even know why anybody was running. That one was obviously going foul. We'll stay at 0-2. That sinker misses low, 1-2. That cutter misses inside, 2-2. Benji Valdez here, standing stock still as those balls go right by him. And unbelievably, after 2 strikes, he has worked a full count. Pitch number 7. This will be a payoff pitch. And it won't. He fouls it off. Payoff pitch number 2 coming right up. Sands that one foul. This is going to be another slow pop-up that lands directly on the line. You could have caught that! You're being so polite.
Yeah.
That was a circle change right down the middle, too. Ugh. Payoff pitch number 3 coming right up. And he walked him. Bases are loaded for Pablo Salmeron. Can he come through here? He's 0 for 1 on the day. Can he make this happen? Fouls off that first one. 0-1. Right down the middle with the sinker. 0-2. Tell me, Pablo, you are not about to go down on strikes with the bases loaded and 2 outs with a chance for insurance runs. All right, here we go. That one misses down and in. Circle change, 1-2. Got him! Goes down swinging, so we'll go to the top of the 9th, 2-1. Naguabo ahead.
What's that?
Will says 2-1 was Luis's prediction of the final score, but hey, remember we have a top of the 9th. Everyone chill.
I don't know. They've kept them to 1 run this whole game. I'm going to go out there and say, foolhardily pushing ahead. They are not going to let them score this half inning.
Now pitching for the Navegadores de Naguabo, number 10, Kareem Anbar. Kareem Anbar already has 5 outs to his name in the postseason and struck out 3 of the batters he faced. Here, he opens up against Juda Guzman, who is 0 for 2 with a ribby on the day. And let's hope you're right.
He's on a mission.
During the regular season, in 39 1/3, he struck out 45 and walked just 7 as he checks his swing on the sinker, 1-0. Seasiler says Luisa is secretly writing these things. Sinker lands just inside, 1-1.
You can never write something as good as a baseball game.
Guzman misses that slider, 1-2. Got him! Strikeout number 1 for Kareem Anbar, and he will now face pinch hitter number 1, Jeremias Montoya. During the regular season, he hit in only 10 games, got 8 at-bats, but he did quite well over that very small sample size. This is actually a good move, I think, from San Juan. If you're desperate to get a hit, get somebody on board, you might as well go for the guy nobody knows.
It's true.
Sinker inside, ball 1. Sinker misses high, 2-0. Sinker misses low, 3-0. Anbar here having a lot of trouble finding the zone all of a sudden. Gets the gentleman's strike. The question is, can he build on it? 3-1. We're going to sit down Varela for now, but he'll be ready if we need him. Wow! I thought for sure that was going to be the walk.
Oh,
Umpire calls it a strike, and this is about to be a payoff pitch.
okay.
That is swung on, grounded out to Shirley. He's got it, throws over, and that's out number 2. Kareem Anbar,
Nice.
1 out away from closing it out. Faces Pedro Sanchez, who is over 3 on the day. 2 outs, base is empty. Anbar rears. Misses low with the sinker. 1-0. We're getting close. Sanchez checks a swing on that sinker. That was a good attempt. We saw that Sanchez would swing freely at low pitches. Maybe they were trying to take advantage of that, but he's learned. It's 2-0 now. The sinker this time is in there. 2-1. Anbar at 13 pitches now. Gets the sinker in there again. All low sinkers, all solidly grouped. Kareem Anbar needs one more strike to wrap this up. I don't think he's going to get it here. Nope, that's fouled off. Let's try that again, Kareem. Misses low. A payoff pitch for all the marbles here. Pitches. Got him on the corner. The Tunisian on a mission. Strikes. Pedro Sanchez out with a sinker, and Naguabo gets past San Juan to take a 1-0 lead in the Serie Eliminatoria, exactly as Luisa predicted, 2-1.
Oh, man.
What a game.
Yes.
Ted Balloon obviously gets player of the game, getting his second win of the playoffs. 8 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, which was earned. 3 walks and 8 strikeouts. Kareem Anbar earning his second save of the postseason. For the record, he had 2 save opportunities during the regular season and didn't manage either of them. So this is especially funny. He's already recorded more saves in the postseason than he has in the regular one, where he pitched a lot more. At any rate, second save, 1 inning, 2 strikeouts on 17 pitches. Balloon, game score 77 despite the wild pitch and the hit batsman, which of course he had. And Constantino Vasquez pitched a good game, but unfortunately will take the loss here. On offense, nobody was more valuable than Benji Valdez with his RBI game-tying triple and his double, which at least showed that Vasquez was, mortal.
Yes.
Wow. That was an exciting game, and we're getting you out of here in more or less the same amount of time as an actual Major League game, which sometimes we go longer than they do now.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of high drama, a lot of good defense. Ooh, boy.
Yeah, it shouldn't have been as much a struggle as it was, I feel like. So I'm annoyed with them a little bit, but it was a good game.
I think you are correct to be annoyed. It is very... They do this a lot.
Huh.
And I don't know why.
Yeah. It's just they always seem to take things for granted a little bit too much.
Well, and especially against certain pitchers, they have this really bad habit when it's a sinker baller or somebody who pitches to ground contact, that kind of thing. They have this real issue where they keep insisting on kind of matching that energy by just hitting very weak grounders. Against guys that fireball, they're in there. They're attacking. But if you're pitching to contact against them, they will very often get themselves out for you.
Yeah.
Is that your final thought, or is there anything else you want to make sure everybody knows as we leave here?
No, I think that's it. Go Naves.
Go Navegadores. All right, everybody, we are going to leave you for now. As I mentioned, if you want to see the 1904 season, it is all available on our YouTube page, which is LMPGACETA, just like this is. And we will have this game exported over there within the day for people to watch as well. We're going to try to just keep the streams moving over there as often as we can. I'm trying to think what else was there. We will also probably record some games for patrons later on in the week and just release those as we do. Louisa might be around for those, or it might just be me running it on one pitch mode just to get through them quicker. Thank you very much for coming, everybody. Thank you, Franchise Time Machine, for the raid. Thank you, C. Seiler. Thank you, Will. Thank you, Francie. Glad to hear that you had a lot of fun. This is what we love. We'll be back next week with, ideally, the championship for the pennant, because we want to get done with the at least the playoffs for this season before the new version of Out of the Park comes out, and that is March 14th. So we don't have too long to go.
Mm-hmm.
But until then, this has been, as always, Isidro Montalvo Espinosa, broadcast coordinator for Liga Nacional Puertorriqueña en Vivo. Gente, buenas noches, gracias mil, y Dios les bendiga.